Scott, Goodison Insurance has a long, deeply planted history here in downtown Brampton, starting with your father, going back to your father Jack Goodison, going back all the way to 1961. Will you give us a little bit of history about the company?
Yes, well actually my father came out here in '56, Bruno. He was in a partnership for about 5 years before he went on his own. So we're from the west end of Toronto, and we saw a great advantage in coming to Brampton. It was just on the verge of expansion at that time. It was a very small farm community, but we knew there was going to be industry here. We knew there was going to be housing development here, so we thought this would be a good place to get into the insurance business.
Now, there is a reason, Scott, that Goodison Insurance Brokers is the single largest family-owned brokerage here in Brampton. And let's not discredit the fact that you also have become, was awarded the honor of the Business Person of the Year a few years back. Yes. With all these accomplishments, tell me, what is the secret to success for Goodison Insurance?
Well, the key to success is something I learned from my father at the very start. It's been constant, Bruno, throughout our time here, and that's good customer service.
Absolutely.
The key I've learned over the years is customer service is always changing. The rung is always being higher, placed higher. You always have to do it better. So it's coupled with humility to accept a customer that you only have them for a year, so you have to keep proving yourself, because you really want these customers for life.
Right. You noted earlier about things changing in terms of customer service, but I understand when we talked earlier that things are changing in the world of insurance all the time as well, and that is something that sort of separates you from the rest in terms of your coverage capabilities and types of different lines. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, Bruno, we pride ourselves here at Goodison is being on the cutting edge, being on what's happening in society is mirrored in the insurance world. Okay. So we're always recommending coverages that many of our competitors aren't even thinking about. One time, water damage. No one ever thought of having water damage coverage on insurance people's policies. But we've always been recommending that since the 1960s. And today, water damage is a greater risk than fire damage. Really? In terms of auto insurance, we're recommending higher liability limits when many of our competitors are just standing pat with their employees at lower liability limits, because we're watching claims, we're seeing claims rise. We're seeing lawsuits being settled for higher limits. So we want to make sure our people are adequately protected. And to do that, you have to be on the cutting edge of what's happening in the insurance world.
So you've got exceptional customer service.
Yes.
You've got staying on the cutting edge in terms of coverage and product lines. So those are two critical pieces to the story. But there's also another critical piece to this story, and that is, of course, location. I mean, of all the places in the GTA, we've got you here settled in downtown Brampton. Tell us why downtown Brampton, from not only as from your personal standpoint as a business operator, but also as an employer. Could you elaborate what makes downtown Brampton so unique for you guys?
As an employer, many of our employees live within 5 minutes of the downtown. So they found it very convenient to go home. Some used to go home at lunch. In past years when people had children, they found they were able to go home, their children come back. With our older staff, we're finding that they like the amenities of downtown, being able to go out to lunch. Often I find on weekends they're down here at the various activities that are happening in downtown Brampton. There's something happening pretty well every week throughout the entire year here. And our people like to be involved in that, like to be involved in the small town atmosphere that you see in the downtown.
And a quality of life, I guess, is certainly paramount for as an employer as well, to make sure that your employees have that sort of, less commuting, close to all the amenities that you're saying.
Indeed, and that small town atmosphere. Yeah. Many of us here in Brampton, although we're a very large city, we still cherish that character of the small town.
Scott, thank you for taking the time to speak with us today, and I wish you and the team at Goodison continued success, and hopefully we'll do another story about you guys in another 50 years.
Thank you, Bruno. Thank you very much.
Thank you.